All right, everyone. Thank you for coming. It's great to be here. How's everybody doing? Let me get a little chat back and see if everybody can hear me. Okay? Can you guys all hear? Can you all hear? Let's see to get that in there. Just sitting there in the chat box. All right, perfect. All right. Is everybody wide awake? I just want to make sure everybody's not ready to. Listen, I'm really excited. I don't know about you guys, but we got a Fed that's coming out in the next few minutes. And you know what? I kind of love this spot. This is a great time. We're gonna have a lot of action going on. We're gonna see what the Feds are gonna do. Obviously, you've got some little corrections going in the market, but I got a couple of stocks that are open right now. Let me bring it up really quick and show what I got going on here. A couple of nice little stocks that are moving. So I don't know if you guys saw these up and running, but we this is our professional trading room. Let me just bring this up over here really quick. Where is everyone here? Hold on, let me bring that up here. I don't need to see that. I don't need to see this. I don't need to see that. I got too many windows up here running. Hold on a second. Where are we? Not that one. Is it this one? Yeah, maybe it's this one right here. Hold on. Exit that, exit that, exit that, and we're right here. Okay, so here's our professional trading room. I know we have a bunch of students here from Cyber Trading University, and thanks to guys for being here. You know, just being a support of cyber trading always helps out. We got about close to 200 traders in there right now. These are all our instructors that you see here on the left that are in the CTU staff, and these are all the traders around the world. These are great people. You got Brian from Phoenix. You got a new trial member, Tristina. You got Dell from Columbus. You got people from all Ontario, Canada. You got people all over the world. And right now they're looking at the stock Zoom. Zoom's up a little big. I want to talk a little bit about this stock Intel. Okay. So does everybody see this order Intel right here? Everybody see this? This is called NASDAQ Book Viewer. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you where to get it. Okay. I actually do a lot of contract work for NASDAQ. I'm one of their speakers who teach people how to use NASDAQ Book Viewer, and you're going to see the value of this. So what I want to do really quick is I want to get my crayons out here, and I want to do some drawing. Okay. So if you look right here, stock is trading at $89. Now, this is the big thing we have to understand. Now, listen to me carefully because this is what's going to make this event so exciting. The way stocks go up and go down in the market is buyers and sellers. Okay. So, what you have right here, let me clear this out. Erase all. Actually, my thing's a little big. Let me get some a little smaller. Let me see. This is all new. That they started drawing the stuff. I got this here. Oh, yeah. All right. So these are your buyers, right? Does everybody see that? And these are your sellers right here. So what you're seeing is you're seeing every buyer and every seller around the entire world. All right. Now, what makes this so amazing is that a lot of you look at these numbers and you're like, okay, Fausto, I see orders, I see shares, I see the bid. I mean, what am I looking at? Because these numbers move really quickly. The big thing is this. There's a lot of buyers around the world that trading Intel. And there's a lot of people looking to sell Intel. What you really care about is this. Okay. What you care about is this right here. Oops. I'm trying to get used to this thing. Hold on. There we go. Right here. Does everybody see that right there? That is a 223,000 share seller at $90. Okay. There are sellers at every single price. 2,000, 1,000, 2,000, 3,000, right? 500 buyers, 900, 700, whatever it is. Right? You got buyers everywhere. The biggest number there is this big seller out there. So when you have a big seller, what does that mean? It basically means resistance. Seller equals resistance. So at $90, what do you think is going to happen is the stock is going to hit that resistance, that big seller, and in theory, it's supposed to do what? It's supposed to go down. Because to get through that big seller, let me remind you, erase all, and let me get something else here and share with you, is my calculator. That is $90 times 223,000. So there's roughly $20 million looking to be sold. Now, reason why I bring up the calculator is I want you to understand you're not trading 20 million shares. Okay. You're lucky if you're trading 100,000 shares of the stock. But somebody, and not just somebody, you have 1,500 people around the entire world that are looking to get out of it. Now, here's where the fun part comes in. What's supposed to happen at that price? It's supposed to hit a resistance levels and it's supposed to go down, right? So let me X out of here. Let me move this over really quick. Well, just to let you know, I own Intel, okay? I own it. Can everybody see this right here? Right here. I bought it at $90.21. Why would I buy a stock with a big seller? Well, let me remind you, that buyer that we looked at, which is right here, was at 90 and it was for 200. I bought at $90.21. Does everybody see where the stock is right now? It almost went to a high of 94. So when I was in this position, I was in right around here. Here's 90 right around here. Okay. What happened here, fellow traders, is that it went up to that big seller and somebody bought it. Now, if somebody was that interested in buying that stock, what does that tell you? That tells you that there must have been a huge demand. And not only is it demand, it sure was a demand because look where I went up. It went up almost 94. Now, I didn't buy that many shares of it. I only bought 500. Okay. But I am about 1,500 on that trade right there. So, the thing is, what made these stocks go up and go down? Buyers and sellers. So, did I get everyone's attention? Did I confuse anybody here regarding what I just showed you? Because what you're seeing right there is called high frequency trades. Those are algorithms. That is what we call the right side of the chart. Okay. So the thing is this, you have these little kids, no disrespect to the younger generation, but they're gamers. They like action. They like, everything is Instagram. By the way, Instagram means instant satisfaction. So they want you to just tell them what's going on. And then there are people out there like on the right that, they want to know where the orders are. They want to have the game plan. They're looking at the right side. Okay. That's what they're looking at. And that's basically what you're seeing here. You're seeing orders. You're seeing, heat maps. This is what I'm going to teach you and what's going on. All right. So let me change the slide here. And now before I go, just a quick little disclaimer. Oh, looks like the Federal Reserve is going to speak and a little change in recent months. So basically, let's see what he does. Breaking news. Chances are he's not raising rates. Okay. That's basically what's going to happen. So listen, just going to let everybody know it's a high risk in trading. Just please don't go out there risking what you really can't afford. All right. Now, what I'm going to do is this. I'm going to invite all of you to come to my trading floor. Now, the reason why I'm going to do that is because I want all of you to experience whatever we preach, we practice. Because some of you are like, oh, yeah, I saw this story before and everything else. And what makes you better than the other? Well, what I'm going to do is I'm going to teach you how we trade. I'm going to show you how we trade. And I'm going to invite you to see everybody of those traders and see if people make money doing this. So let me just tell you a quick little story before we move on. Okay. Let me tell you a little bit about who I am, and everyone I don't know if everybody here knows who I am, but let me tell you a little story about how I got started and, how this all came about. I am one of the original day traders that started back in the early 90s. That's basically a little bit about myself. That's what I've been doing. Oops, sorry about that. So if you read any of the old books, they talk about the SOS Bandits. SOS Bandits is small order execution system. Bandits, the traders called us thieves. They didn't like us how we used it, but I'm one of the original ones out there. So basically, in other terms, we're one of the original day traders who started. Now, I've done several competitions over the years. I beat every school I went up against. When in my younger days, actually, no, I'm sorry. I did one last year in Toronto. Okay, I forgot about that one. But time to time, I'll do a competition, and I like doing it. It's fun. But I am a very big. I'm a guest at some of the biggest financial stations. I've done public speakings everywhere from Fox News, CNBC. But I would say, the most prestigious one out of them all was Nasdaq. I do a lot. I do a lot of presentations of Nasdaq. I'm going to teach you how to trade on the exchange, and if anyone here wants to know how the market actually works, I'm also going to send you a video once we're done here on how to get there, okay, and how to get the software that I just showed you. Now, before we move forward, okay, what I like to do is this. For everyone being so great and great listeners and going to stick around, I want to give you a copy of my book, okay? So if everybody could just take a moment right now and just go right here and go to Fausto. I want you to bring up your inbox. Let's bring up your Outlook or whatever you use for email. Okay. And let me just get a little quick email right now, and I'm going to automate it to you. Send it to Fausto. Everybody can read that? Fausto at ctutrading.com. And what you're going to do is you're going to write in the subject line, write book. And please, I like to call you by your first and last name. So if you can, just write Fausto, whatever your name is, PG. Okay. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you a copy of my book for free. Now, if you like, I know some of you paid $60 on Amazon. You could I'll take your money if you want. But as of right now, for being such a great bunch of listeners and sticking around, I'm going to give it to you for free. Okay. So I'm going to hit send. And then you'll notice I will be getting an email in about the next moment. And when I'm done here, I'll send it over to you. Okay. So as you guys are doing that, Pareto, oh, wow, you're pretty fast. I got yours. Pareed, thank you very much. Appreciate it. Get that sent over to you. Just seeing some of you guys registering right now. Michael, I got yours. Thank you very much. Please send Fausto's book. All right. Wow, we got some people paying attention. All right. Good to hear. So as you guys are filling that out, let me go over a couple other things here I want to talk about. First of all, how I got started. I'm one of the original Souls Bandits. And, my parents, my dad, first generation Italian, my parents came here and told me, say, hey, son, listen, they came with $20 in their pocket. They told me, you know what? This is a great country. You can make a lot of money here. We live in New York. I still live in New York, and it's the financial capital of the world. And he said, you know what? You're going to learn from people that make money. Go get into the finance business. Okay. And I want to go through the whole story about it. But you know what? I was a little ignorant when I was younger. I blew up through accounts. I finally listened to my dad, got a job as a trader, and it was one of the greatest jobs I ever had. And ever since then, you could see I'm here and been doing it for over 35 years. And this is my wonderful family, my lovely wife, Debbie, Max, Alex, and Lucas. Okay. Love to share it with you. So now the thing is this. Now you know a little bit about me. And let me tell you how I got here and how you could do the same exact thing. Where is your trading right now? How you doing? Are you making money? Are you losing money? You're a rookie? You're a veteran? Where are you? Are you looking to do this full-time? Part-time? What is your career? Let me tell you something about trading. And, I saw that Greg was talking, Capra before, and I know Greg since the pristine days. He's been around as long as I've been around, okay? We love doing what we do. We have a little bit of a different style, but we kind of trade the same thing. And you got to listen to a little bit of everybody's stuff, but you got to find out what works for you. What works for me is following the money, okay? Because there's never been a better opportunity to trade than now. Listen, you had some really big moves on Intel. You got big moves that going on with AMD. You got big moves that happen with NVIDIA, all right? Amazon, right? They got earnings today. That's going to be fun to listen to. But you got to know when the stock to get in and get out of it. How many of you here have traded and you always feel like you're selling your winners too soon and you're holding your losers too long, right? Always feel like that's happening. Well, listen, I run a live pre-market show every morning at 9 a.m. It's broadcasted live on all social networks and on YouTube. You guys are more than welcome to join. But but it's more than that. It's more than that, just doing that. You gotta know how to follow the market before it's going to tank, because that's when everybody's biggest fear is. We don't want to lose. As great as the market has done over the years, some of you probably haven't met to your goals and your potential. And the potential is that who really trained you how to trade? You ever ask yourself that question? Now, unfortunately, 90% of the people, and I know Greg says this too, are gonna lose money in the market. Why are you here? Why would you actually want to be part of our business in trading, knowing it's a 90% failure rate? You are wasting your time being here right now, knowing that only 10% of you have a chance of making money. Well, I'll take that back. You're not going to be 90% of the people, because if you were, you wouldn't be here right now, right? But people make money doing it. So I love teaching people how to be successful, especially when you start learning what I'm about to show you right now. I'm going to show you how to read what's called the right side of the chart, following the money. The right side is where the algorithms are, the high frequency trades, everything else. Now, I'm not going to change anyone's style. I'm not going to change anything that you do. All I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how to follow orders. Now, there are these things that are called NASDAQ. We call it level 3 and level 4. There are two ways of viewing orders. All right. Now, I want to get back to the NASDAQ book viewer, because I'm going to show everybody in the next few moments where to get it and why you cannot trade without it. And if you trade without this thing, you're basically trading blind. Okay. You're automatically going to be a 50% better trader when I'm done with you in the next 10 minutes. So let's start off with this. We're going to go right to the exchange. To go to the exchange, if we're going to look up a stock symbol, we're going to see, let's say Snapchat, we're going to see every single buyer and every single seller. We're going to see every order and who wants to pay the most and who wants to sell for the least. We're going to see every seller who wants to sell their shares for the least amount of money and who wants to sell for the most. So basically what you're seeing is every order in the entire world that want to buy and sell Snapchat. You're going to see it on every stock. You're going to see it on Intel. You're going to see it on energy stocks, Philip Morris, Goldman Sachs, Intel, Microsoft, you said it, you name it. You have a seat on the exchange. Why would anyone here in their right mind not want that data? Why would you not want to have an access to walk on the New York Stock Exchange and be able to see some of the biggest traders in the world, to know what they're getting in, getting out? Well, now you can do it, because let me tell you, when I started, you had to pay millions to have a seat on the exchange. Anyone here watch CNBC? You ever see why they have their studio down on the floor? There's nobody there anymore. They got rid of them. It's all electronic, because the exchanges realize why we held hostage to specialists and market makers. Why don't we just let the whole world, let's make it a free market. And that's why people love the US market. So no matter where you logged in, because we train people from all over the world, you have access to the free market system. So let's put this in, see how we're going to interpret in our trading. We're looking at the stock HIMS. Now, you own a stock, it's going up, right? And the game plan is, you want to know where are the buyers, where are the sellers. And when you look at a stock like HIMS right here, and there are things like, why did the stock stop here? And then why did it eventually go up here? Well, around this time, there probably was this big seller out here. Buyer. There was a seller, but now you have this buyer out there. Hold on, let me clear this out. What am I doing here? Okay, there we go. All right. So here are your buyers, and this is the buyer column. You can see how the stock basically hovered here, which was right around this price. There was a buyer bidding it up, and eventually, if you notice, it went up because there was no sellers out here. When you have 170,000 looking to buy, and you only got a couple hundred there to sell, that's how you go from 2240 up to 2520. Because without sellers, if that guy went out there and he hit a market order to say, hey, you know what? I got a limit order out here, but no one's selling to me. I'll just whack the whole sell side. He's probably the reason why the stock took off. And you know what? That could happen. Let's go over here. Look at this. Let's check out sellers. Looking at Visa. Stock had a big winner, goes all the way up. For some crazy reason, which is not too crazy, but for some of you be like, why did the stock stop at 340? What made 340 so special? Well, what did we learn here? What makes resistance? Sellers. You look on the sell column, you notice that there's a big seller right here for 84,000 shares. And what is that number? 341. Oh, coincidence. No wonder why the stock went from 330 to 341 and then came back down to 343. Because there was a very big seller at 341. Now think about it. How much smarter and better trading decisions if you knew where the 84,000 share seller was? Now don't lie to me. You don't know you didn't know there's a seller out there. You heard of it, but you never saw it. It's almost like a unicorn, right? I heard about this such thing, unicorns, but I never seen one. Well, guess what? Now you're seeing the orders. And how much of a smarter and better trading decision would you have made if you knew that big order was out there and you got out because he got out? You know how many people are not doing that right now? Tons. Let's look at a couple of more examples from this week. Everybody see what happened to Palantir? Got a little beat up this week. Went from like 140 straight down to 135, right? OpenAI, the bad news that came out, OpenAI. Well, the thing is this. Is Palantir going to zero? No, of course not. Of course not, it's going to zero. There's always buyers somewhere. You know, I know everybody here would love it. I would love to buy it at $10, but how are you going to buy it $10 at 130? There's going to be buyers at some point in time, but it's not your decision or your expertise to think it's going to go to that number because you're a nobody. You're just an ant on the floor trying to get some crumbs. These people are trading millions of shares. Like this guy right here that wants to buy 132,000 at 134. You might think in your head, you're like, oh man, this is definitely going to 100. Yeah, it could. And every indicator tells you it might. But you know what the indicator is not going to tell you? That you got to get through this 132 share buyer first. Well, what do you think happened next? Went from that 141 down to 134 and went right back to 137. And here you are. You could probably be sitting there, licking your chops and be like, oh, I'm going to get this stock. It's tanking. It's looking great. Finally going to get a piece of that Palantir. Going to get a good deal on it. This is the time. Got my limit order at 130. And you're wondering, I don't understand. Why didn't it go to 130? Everything else told me it was going to 130. Well, it could have went to 130. Just got to get through that 134.80 first of 132,000 shares. Now, I'm going to ask the same question I asked you all before. Did I lose anybody? Did that seem hard? Did that seem complicated? Right? I think everyone's chatting a little yes, right? I think everyone gets it. Well, guess what? It's not that complicated. You know what the hardest thing to teach? The hardest thing to teach, even if you knowing that this how this works so well, it's the discipline, it's the experience. You know, I mean, that just comes within time. And we cover that in our classes. But my goal today is I'm just trying to here to teach you all how to follow the money because you know it exists. You know they're out there. Some of you are from all over the world. You're not here in New York. I mean, I live in a town where I have some of the biggest traders in the world live in. You're not going to beat them. They're members of my country club. They laugh at me, you know. But I tell you one thing, they don't like me as much because they know I know their secrets because I was one of them. But to me, I just feel like, you know, why hurt the little guy, right? We're just trying to survive. These guys realize they're going up against, you know, BlackRock. They're going up against Goldman. They're going up, you know, they got hedge funds. They're managing billions of dollars. They don't care that you want to make your $200, your $500. They're like, oh, is that all they care about? Nah, you know. I mean, how many of you here would be happy to make $250,000 a year? You know what $250,000 a year is? It's $1 on 1,000 shares. $1, not $3, not $10, $1. 2 trades at 50 cents. You know what I'm saying? I mean, this is what we train for. Let's go check out some resistance levels. Amazon breaking new highs, looking amazing, right? How many of you here own Amazon? Or maybe you wish you own Amazon. Well, you know what? There comes a point in time that nothing goes up forever. If you're a smart trader, you gotta know and see what's in front of you. Okay? See, a lot of you are looking backwards. When you drive a car, you need to know where the exit is. You got to look at the front of the road, not the back of the road. And when I look up front, I'm like, okay, oh, you know what? I'm coming up to a pothole right here, you know, at 266 for 180,000 shares. Yeah, and that is a pothole. And you know what happens if you hit a pothole? You know, it doesn't work out. You know, it's not going to work out too well on the highway. Hell, you might even crash. And don't tell me you don't think that could happen. You know how that's going to happen? Because you're an experienced driver. And I'm an experienced trader. And I'm telling you, you don't see that big seller out there? Guess what? You know what's going to happen next? Bye-bye. That's how you convert a winner to a loser. You have to follow the money. All right. So what are these called? These are called iceberg orders. Now, anyone here familiar with the Titanic? I came up with this word iceberg when I watched the movie The Titanic. What was that, 25 years ago, 20 years ago that movie came out? So very sad movie. And we all know the story, right? The unsinkable ship, right? So the thing is this, it's not where, you know, you could be here, right? You think you're seeing here like, oh, yeah, we're pretty far away. But you know what? It's what's on the bottom. And this is what we call level 1, where most people are reading, or level 2, which is obsolete. This is called level 3 and level 4. So if you don't have the radar to see on bottom of the water, when most of you looking at top, you're going to be part of the 90% failure. And why that is, I'm doing this 35 years. You have to know how to follow the money. Now, let's talk about one more example. And then I'm going to tell all of you where to get it. So everyone get ready to type in, to send me an email. Okay, because I'm going to send you guys a video. I'm going to show you exactly where to get it right on NASDAQ's website. Okay, so what happens when a stock breaks a support level? Because, you know, that could happen, right? I mean, it's possible. Well, anything could happen. Let's look at some nuclear stocks. Okay, I was a big fan of nuclear stocks. You love them. I think, you know, some people are against it. Some people are environmentalists, whatever it is. You know, listen, don't take things personal. You take things personal, you'll get destroyed in trading. Okay? But here's OKLO. Stock took a big hit. You're coming up to a 200,000 shares buyer at $80. I don't care what you think of, like, I'm glad the stock is going down. I hate nuclear. Okay, great. Short it. Short it. I don't think you want to short it. But can it break it? Don't say, oh, I'm right because I shorted because I don't like the company. No. What you have to like is that buyer at 80 got filled. And look what ended up happening. When it broke that 80, now you're down to 60. And you're sitting there wondering, oh my God, I'm right because I hate nuclear. No, you were wrong. Where I teach you where you were right is that there was a big buyer out there and somebody sold to him. And that's the only reason why the stock went down as fast and as quickly as it did. Not because it's a bad company, not because everyone's anti, nuclear, or maybe you're not. I don't know. I mean, it's not what you know, it's who you know. And you better know where those orders are. So, this is what I want to do. If anyone here would like to get NASDAQ Book Viewer, I want you to email me right now. So I want you to open up your inbox and type in, again, Fausto, all right? Fausto C2 Trading, and just write in NASDAQ. So I know the difference between people who want the book and want NASDAQ, and then write your first and last name so I know who you are. Okay. Now what I'm going to do is this. You can see this. I'm right on NASDAQ's website. I've done so many videos with Jill Maranjone, okay, and talking about Total View, how it works, everything else. Actually, it's pretty funny. They still got my podcast of my video of my room right there. But let me bring the X this out. So what you do is you open up your inbox, hit send, and Michael, you already did it. All right, got yours. There's my email right there. Okay. Got yours. Perfect. So you guys send them in. And what I'm going to do is this. I'm going to email you 2 5-minute videos. Okay. In those videos, I'm going to tell you where to get it. I'm also going to tell you how to install it the right way and how to set the defaults. See, the easiest thing I could do right now is I could just tell you, go to NASDAQ.com and just get it. But you're going to be like, Fausto, there's like so many links and supports, and I don't even know what. And then you might buy something that's not the right price and be like, yada, yada, yada. You're going to try to call them. No one's going to answer. Just make your life a little bit easier. Just email me and I'll send it to you. And let me tell you, this will make you a 50% better trader tomorrow. So that's the most important. Steve, I got yours. Michael, Anna, Jim, got your email. Thank you very much. All right. Remember, the 2 5-minute videos I'm going to send to you. I'll send it to you once I'm done, once I get it. All right. All right, traders, you guys having fun yet? Having a little fun? All right, good. Eric, I got yours. All right, no problem. What's the market doing? Yeah, Intel's going up still. NVIDIA's coming back. What's going on with Nook? I own this one too. All right, just checking out some of the stocks really quick. All right, gotta watch it really careful. All right, now what I want to finish off with one last thing. I want to finish off here with something called level 4. Now, yes, there is something a little bit more powerful than level 3. Now, how is that possible? Well, how it's possible is that this is going to be like a heat map. It's actually you're going to see things a little bit differently. Okay. So here you're going to actually see the orders on the right, and then you're going to see how the stock's been doing on the left. You're going to see how long the trader's been out there and everything else. So, like, for example, I did a video on YouTube. Let me bring up my YouTube channel. All right. Because this is very important. I'm going to go to YouTube. All right, here's my YouTube. Here's my YouTube. I'm going to go YouTube channel. Go to my channel right here. All right, so when you guys get a chance, subscribe to the channel, okay? And it's also on. I'm on TikTok, Instagram, X, all of them. Right here, I just did my last video. I just did was this one right here. This is why traders lose money in trading. All right. And definitely watch that video. That's the one I just posted right now. I did another video. This one was my latest one right here. I made $100,000 in 2 days. Okay. So you guys are going to like that video too. I don't really like to do long videos because, I don't know, sometimes people don't want to watch a video for 10, 20 minutes. But in that video right here, that video was on this video right here. Okay. So see this video right here? It was this one, and it was this one the next day later. Okay. I want to play this video really quick. Watch this video really quick. Okay. Watch it because this is a stock that I bought that I made $100,000 in. All right. Hold on. Have you ever traded an IPO? Have you ever traded an IPO? Well, let me tell you about a stock that went from $31 to $170 just in a couple of days, and almost no one understands what actually is happening. I'm talking about a stock called VCX. Now, this is not a normal stock IPO that you see. This stock had a massive run this morning. It started from 120, already rated to 170. Still looks higher, but what's serious in making this momentum is what this company does. This isn't your typical company. This is a venture capital style fund, which means you get access to companies that you can't get public or you have access to. I'm talking about names like OpenAI, SpaceX, Stripe, even Databricks. These are companies that most retail traders can't even invest in because they're all private placements. So the real story is this, that people are still waiting for these IPOs to happen, but VCX has already exposed itself and is already hitting the market. This is why the stock is getting so much attention, and that's why the move is in real high demand. If you were to learn more about how to trade stocks like this, then you'll basically know how to take on it, and you'll also be able to know how to trade, like using something like level 4 quotes, which I'm going to show you. But if you want to know more about it, please leave a comment. Tell me what you think about the stock, and I'll be happy to answer you because these are things that don't come very frequently. So what I want to show you next is that when I made that video, then this came up. I made a second one that was for the following day. Now watch this video right here. Yesterday I showed you a stock, VCX, exploded from 120 to 170. And if you thought that move was big, this morning it broke down. And exactly what happened around $200 level in the stock trading room that we run, now it's breaking records. This stock has pushed even higher, just under 300. Now let's sink this in. The stock is trading only about 600,000 shares, making the move like. So right here, I want to show you this right here. This is my P&L. Oh, hold on a second. Sorry about that. There's my P&L right there. And I don't know why it's doing that. Right there, you see that? I only bought 100 shares. I was already up 17,000. I end up making over 100,000 on that trade at the end of the day. Okay. Now, if you guys want to see that, the best thing to do is when you get a chance, watch this video right here, where I made almost $100,000 in less than 3 days. And I didn't even have to risk that much as you think I did. Now the stock. So that's basically I want to show you. So how do I find these stocks and how did I know they were doing what they're doing is what I'm going to talk about right now. Okay. It's all about following the money and seeing if the consistency happens. So right here, you'll see the stock. We're looking at the stock right here. And you could see right here on the right-hand side, this is NASDAQ level 3. And now this is level 4. So we're seeing orders that showed up here. And now the stock went up. And all of a sudden, it came up to 100,000, 100,000, 100,000, 100,000, 40,000. Look at all these orders. And right around that time, when those orders started showing up, now the stock went all the way back down. Now, I want to bring up that stock VCX really quick. So I want to show you something. Does everybody see what price VCX is trading at? It went all the way down to $83. Now, when I traded it, it was all, this is the trade right here. I got out of the trade at 500. All right. And that day it went to 570. Now, great traders now buy at the bottom, never sell up on top. I thought the stock was really going to, the rate it was going, I thought it was going to 1,000. But I'm like, you know what? To make that much money in that short period of time, the stock started backing off. And then you could see the story tells itself. It was a short squeeze. Margins came in, started going down. You could see the close was at 380 on the top left-hand corner. It opened up at 390. It closed at 380. So basically closed right here. But the reason why I got out is there was a bunch of orders started selling. They were selling on the way up. I'm like, all right, this is not going anymore. People started, maybe people like me made so much money on it, they wanted out of it. And if I didn't get out of it, that 100,000 share winner would have been probably like a $20,000, $10,000 loss. Now, how many of you here have made that mistake? How many people here converted that winner to a loser? Well, the thing is this. It's all about seeing is believing. So what I want to do right now is, how much time do I have? How much, I don't know if, just want to get an idea how much time I got left to kind of show you some more stuff.
Hey, you got about 14 minutes?
14 minutes. All right. Perfect. So let me go back to Intel. All right. So Intel, you'll notice, is having this really difficult time breaking and getting past 94. All right. So when I go over here and I bring up level 4 and we look at Intel, here's Intel. Look what happened here. Since 9:30 this morning, this seller's been out there and it's not at 94, he's at 95. So after 11 o'clock, give or take, really hasn't gone anywhere. But it had a hell of a move this morning from 86. So in an hour and a half, you went from 86 to 94. And then all of a sudden, after 11 o'clock, nothing. Dead. But you'll notice I'll never break this buy right here and never break this seller right here. Let me show you another one. Anyone here in NVIDIA? So here's NVIDIA. NVIDIA, if you could also apply this to a swing trading, here's 9:30 in the morning. Here's a big seller. Big seller. There was a little bit of a big buyer out here. But if you want to have a game plan, know where the big resistance levels are, they're right there. 660,000 shares selling at 220, another 500,000 at 225. You had, I think it was like 100,000 this buy right here, but he got executed. So that's not a good sign. But look what's happening. If you really think NVIDIA is going higher, it could. I mean, I still own it, but I don't want to throw away a profit. Could always buy it back cheaper. Let somebody else break through this resistance. Why do I got to sit there and think I got to wait? I had no problem paying more money for a stock if I know I'm going to come up to a bunch of big sellers. Anybody here use crypto? Because it works on crypto also. Here's Bitcoin. Big seller, 181 Bitcoin at 80. You can go back a little bit further in history. Got some big buyers over here, 230 Bitcoin at 68, 65, 70. See all the Bitcoins are. I mean, they do it on every stock. Robinhood, here's another one. This is a good one right here. Robinhood had a very big support levels right here at 70. And now it's starting to go up a little bit. See how it came all the way down here right around 10:30, never broke it. It looks like he pulled his order, and that's why it's going up. But you can't see that now on level 3, but you could see he was there at level 4. That's the big difference. So let me just let everybody know, if anybody here wants to follow me on Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube, please go out there, watch those videos, okay? And like them, share them. There's no secret. We're nobody. We're just a bunch of ants trying to save each other. These people are moving millions and millions and billions of shares. Watch what they do. It'll just make your life easier. Now, how do I know this? Because I was one of them. I live here in New York. I was a market maker. I used to trade on that side. The reason why I'm on your side is because, I didn't like splitting the profits anymore. I'm retired. Shoot, I was retired at the age of 30. And I just, everyone always asks me, hey, could you teach me to trade? Could you teach me to trade? And I'm like, you know what? I hate seeing people lose money. First of all, it's bad for the industry. It really looks bad. Everyone's looking at, are you going to lose your money and this and that? And I always kind of tell everyone, well, who trained you? Everybody's like, what does that have to do with it? I'm like, I don't know. I wouldn't hire someone. I wouldn't have a doctor do brain surgery. I never went to med school. Or better yet, would you give your money to someone to finance that never learned finance? You just assume he knows what he's doing? You're smarter than that. Well, the people I'm not here are not that smart. And you know what? This is sport. We'll be friends, but at the end of the day, we get paid to win. I'm not here to lose. And neither are you. So let's stop being a lone wolf trader and let's start being an active trader. This is why Cyber Trading University has done speaking and been endorsed by more brokerage firms than any school in the industry. I'm actually going to be, anyone here in Canada, I'm actually going to be at Mumu next week at their Toronto office. You'll probably get a couple of emails. They market a lot on TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, but I'm one of their keynote speakers there. So TradeStation, do a lot of events with them. Used to do a lot with Schwab, but NASDAQ I do a lot. This just names a few. Thinkorswim we do a lot. Tasty Trade we do a lot. Mumu's our newest member out there, but I don't know if anyone here is in the Toronto area, but we're running a really big cocktail reception, drinks, food, prizes, gifts. You said it, you name it. Tickets to the Met games, concerts. I mean, they're really, really going to do a big show. So, and I think it's going to be online too. They're going to be doing it online. But there's just one of few that I do. It's all of them. So this is the one that's just coming up next week. Now, if anyone here wants to become and want to join our trading floor, this is what you need to do. What I'm offering you today is this. I'm giving you 1 week access to our trading floor. You're going to get live commentary. You're going to be able to talk to trading staff members. You're going to talk to our instructors, get alerts. You're going to get classes. You're going to get to meet everybody. They all love teaching. We're very big when it comes to customer service. Because if you don't succeed, we don't succeed. You're going to get to meet all the traders around the world. And believe me, if you have a passion to learn, they're also going to get a passion to teach you, because if you're good for the team, we all make money together. And when you get a chance, go on Google, review our reviews. We're probably the only school that has a 5-star rating that you'll find after 35 years. So you're going to get all these great deals, everything. Recordings, my book, personal advisor, everything. Comes out to $2,000. I'm giving it to you today for $9. That's it, $9. Now, I used to do it for free, but the problem is I feel people don't take things seriously. Like, I'll sign up for it. You know what? We want you to have a little skin in the game. I'm not asking for $90 or $9,000. I'm asking for $9. All you got to do is go to that link right there that we just posted, or take your phone and scan that QR code that's up on the screen. Now, we're not going to auto renew. You're not signing up for any long-term deals. There's no catch. The only catch is the money you're going to make. The only catch is what you're going to learn that you didn't know. So if you thought you learned a lot now, imagine what you're going to learn in a 1-week event with me. And not only that, before I go, I'm going to give one last thing, because I know I got the next speaker that's going to be joining us. Anyone here that signs up, I will personally give you a coaching class. I will, if you're in the trading room and if you're serious and I see you in there, I will personally talk to you. Now, why is that? Because I'm looking for traders that could be part of my team. I'm looking to hire traders I could trade with. So if you're serious and you want to learn how to trade and you're in there, we'll have that conversation. Because there's nobody better that's going to answer your questions than me. All for that $9. So with that said, everybody, I'll give you a couple of minutes to get registered, and then we'll pass it over to the next guest. But I'll thank you, everybody, for listening in. Hope you learned a lot. Dave, you did a fabulous job, as always. Hope everybody learned a lot being here, and hopefully get the opportunity to teach all of you. Thanks for listening, everybody. See you in the next upcoming event.